Hello and welcome to my channel once again. And as the Halloween is coming up, I just took some reference pictures from Pinterest to see how cute the mice look wearing a witch's hat, and using that just as a rough reference, I made this little mouse, and in this video I'm going to show you how it is made, and it looks super cute. It's holding a wand made out of polymer clay. So let's get started. I'm using a pipe cleaner and just judging how big I want the head to be, and just below the neck I'm going to add half of another pipe cleaner, and those are going to be the arms. I'm just bending the sharp ends of the arms and just wrapping it around, so each arm is of equal length. I just measured it and it's 5 centimeters each. So just twisting it around, and these are going to be the feet, and the rest of the pipe cleaner is going to be the tail. And for the feet I've just folded them over so I get a loop right in front. And now I'm adding wool, just wrapping it around. This is the Cordell slivers, and slivers are easier to wrap around armature. So these are the feet, just folded them in, so I get 2 little loops for the feet. And right to the top of the pipe cleaner is going to be the nose, so I'm just going to bend it later. I'm just adding some wool right now, and I had folded that tip as well, so I'm adding more wool to the head and around the head, but not around the nose area, so that is going to be the pointy nose that the mouse have. Just figuring out where the eyes are going to be. Now the arms seem a little bit longer than I think they should be, so just folded in the tips to make them the equal lengths but not too long. So it just seemed too long, so I just folded the pipe cleaner, and the wire between the in a pipe cleaner is really thin, so you can just bend it, and when you add now wrap around the wool, they won't be very thick. I'm adding more wool, and now you can see it is taking the shape of a mouse. You can keep adding wool and keep shaping it. So doing 4D sculptures, you have to go all around. I'm going now for the tiny hands. I'm using a florist wire. I'll write down the gauge. I think it's 28, and it's covered with paper, so it's easy to handle. And I start off by bending the tiny fingers. So I'm just taking that as a reference for how long I want it, and I think it's around a centimeter. But you can make it a bit longer, because after you wrap wire around it, it becomes a bit smaller. So I've bended one and twisted it. Now I'm going to make another one, twist it tightly, and this wire is really soft and easy to handle, so I'm just twisting it in shape, or you can use a plier if you want, if you're using a thicker wire. So even the bird's feet are done the same way. So these are really tiny, and I'm showing you a close up. So I think we need 4 fingers, not 3. Once I've got 3, I'm going to twist, just checking the size. And you can use pliers if you want to make them really neat. So I'm just trying to get them of the same size. And twist. And then I'm going to go in between the fingers, so I get the wire at a right angle, and the twists are secure. I'm just twisting the wire in between the little fingers and making the 4th one. Then I'm going to twist it around again. So now I've got 4 little fingers and tiny hand is formed. Once I'm happy with the shape and the size of the little fingers, I'm just squeezing the tips using a plier so they're nice and tight. For wrapping the wool around it, I'm using some white glue, and I've just diluted it with water, and I'm adding it with a brush so the wool sticks to it nicely, and I think it's easier to handle this way. I'm using a merino top that's eggshell color, and as merino is really thin and I'm taking a little shred of merino, I'm trying to twist it around, tiny fingers forming a little hand. So I'm just twisting the the wool around the fingers and wrapping it using some glue as I go along, and then getting my needle around it as well, so you get a nice and neat shape of the hand. Going to do the same with the other hand, wrapping the wool around with some glue and forming the shape of the hand, the fingers and the palm. Now I'm going to attach these tiny hands to the arms, and I've used some glue and I'm just pushing them in as the wool is wrapped around the pipe cleaners, and this wire is really thin. It gets nicely right in the middle, and the glue can secure it, and when we give the mouse some color, it's going to be more secure. So I'm shaping the head again adding more wool to the forehead. And these are going to be the cheeks. So just felted down some pieces roughly and added them both on either side. And you just have to keep rotating your piece to see that you've got a balance and both sides are equal. So this is going to be the mouth. Another piece of wool. I felt it very loosely so I can shape it right onto the piece. The nose seemed too thin, so I'm adding just a little wool around it. So you can just judge where you need to add more wool. And this is the fun of sculpting with wool. And it's taking a nice shape. Now this eye is too big, so I'm going to use a smaller eye. And I'm using plastic eyes with my awl tool, made holes, and then when I think they're nice and in the right place, I'm going to glue them and add more wool on top of the head around the eyes. So now it looks more like a mouse. I'm going to make it nice and firm. Little more cheeky. So you should do all the sculpting before you add color. Now I've started adding the light color on the belly. And the cheeks. And I'm shading it with little lighter color. That's the eggshell. So I'm just putting in shades. So it's like painting. I'm adding a darker color to the rest of the body and around the arms. I've made white mice, I've made brown, dark brown ones, so I thought I'll make a little grayish one. This is the light pink nose using a merino top. I'm shaping it with my needle. Going around and making it round. Now a little shred of wool right around the plastic eyes, and you can see the difference it makes. For the ears, I'm using a felted sheet because the ears are going to be underneath the witch's hat, so I don't want them to be too thick. So I'm not making them out of wool, I'm just using a felt sheet because felt sheets are nice and really thin. So I'm just drawing a little round shape to see how big of an ear I want. So I made another one. The first one was too small, so I had to make two of them a bit more bigger. So I'm just pinning them down using common pins. Now for the hat, I'm using a black felt sheet and I've made a rough circle that is just big enough for the head. I'm going to cut it out using a white pencil to make a nice round shape. And that's going to be the base of the hat. And you can just put it on your mouse and see if you got the size right. I think this is the right size. I'm going to build on that. Just taking out the middle part. And now I've rolled some black wool that I have, and it is a merino, so it's a bit difficult to felt down. So making a cone shape, and I'm going to felt it down in shape. It's supposed to have a pointy end, so I'm trying to make it nice and firm, and I'm going to get the tip of it as thin as I want. And now I'm attaching it to the base that I had made, and I've put it right in the certain center, and I'm felting around. So this way it's easier because the merino top is a bit flimsy. You can use Goidil if you have. I didn't have it in black color, so I'm using merino. So I'm just going around and trying to make the bends. And for the bends, you can just hold the tip and push it down and just poke where the bend is. So when it's just squishy, it just felts in shape. And adding some colors around it and making a little buckle using yellow color. So you can decorate it as you want. You can make a skull on it or anything. I'm just making a yellow buckle. Made the twisty shape. Now I'm felting it on to the head. So I'm attaching it with my needle and attaching the ears as well now. After the head, the hat is on the head. So I'm attaching the ears now with my needle. And as they were in place with the pins, it was easier. Now I'm going to make a cape. And the same felt sheet, I placed it on the mouse just to see the size. I'm cutting out a semicircle and just seeing how it goes around. Folding it, and that makes a little collar. So the round end will be the cape end, and the straight end will be the collar. So I'm adding. I've cut out a little circle from the felt sheet, and this is going to be the button. And I'm attaching it on one end. And I've made a little hoop, a loop of wool, and that is going to just latch on around the neck. So it's nice, and there it's fastened. So you've got a really easy cape, and it looks really cute. Now I'm making a wand out of polymer clay, just twisting it it's too big and too thick. So I'm just going to make it smaller and twisting it to give it a nice shape. Now adding wool to the feet. You have to go around the pipe cleaner. Now the tail. I had to cut the pipe cleaner because it was too long. So now I've got the wand and I'm using simple makeup for the inside of the ears. You can see the paint on my fingers. That's because I painted the wand after it was baked. I'm just adding some shades. Going around the face and the nose, just giving it a little darker shade. As you can see, I've colored the wand and I've added Mod Podge to it so it's nice and secure. And now I'm adding glue. You can add hot glue as well, but I couldn't find my hot glue gun, so just trashed it. And here it is. It looks really nice and hope you can make your own before Halloween, and it can be a great gift for anyone who loves mice or art pieces. Thank you very much for watching, and join you in another one.